Hey guys, Avid Outdoors back here again with the King Quad 500. So last week I made a video just kind of reviewing the Highlifter kit that I put on last weekend, 2-inch lift. I didn't pre-order the wheel spacers that they recommend for their kit, so after last weekend when I installed it, I went ahead and placed that order and got them in. So what I got was the Highlifter brand wheel spacers, 4x110 for this. Billet aluminum, lifetime warranty. Figured, there's cheaper options out there on eBay. If you guys want to, partake in that, that's on you. I'd rather, pay a little bit more for quality since it's probably going to stay on here as long as I own the bike. So as you can see, billet aluminum. They're not cheaply made where the holes are kind of like riding the sidewall, and just, I've seen plenty of pictures where they just the lugs and the bolts will just wear straight through that sidewall, and you'll have catastrophic failure out there while you're riding. So yeah, spent a little bit more. I think these were $60 for two, and then obviously 60 for the other two. So I'm going to show you how to do it on one wheel here, just for those of you who don't know. I mean, it's super simple, but I mean, some people just, if you haven't messed with them, then you don't know what you don't know. So I already pre-loosened these. These are 17 mil. Right, so lugs are off. About to take the wheel off and see what we got here. Get your spacer. All right, it's gonna come with their lugs pre-threaded onto the threads there. So let's see if I can get these off. Doing this shit one-handed is kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. All right, so once you got them off, you want to go ahead and clean up your hub a little bit. So I previously wire brushed mine last weekend when I was putting the Highlifter kit on here. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and wire brush all this as best you can. I'm just gonna spray a little bit of brake cleaner on it right now just to get a little whatever little residues on there. Once it's cleaned up as good as you want it, go ahead and put the spacer on there. Just sits on there right like that. So when I put it on, I'm gonna put the phone down, but you can see how it kind of just rides right there, because they're kind of a universal. They can fit a few multiple machines with different thread depths and stuff. So if you just slap it on there, it's gonna be off-centered a little bit. So I'm gonna use both hands. I'm gonna center it as best I can, like right here, and then go ahead and thread the lugs that they give you onto your stock threads. Just try to make sure each one of these is centered as best as you can. Get them nice and tightened down, torque them to stock specs with 17 millimeter, and I'll be right back. So just to give you guys an idea of what I was talking about, I got 3 of these on here, hand tightened, these lugs onto the threads. So the last one here, you see how it's pretty much centered right in there. That's what you want. So get them all hand tight, and after that you can torque in the spec. One thing I didn't show in this video, I thought I had some left over in the garage, but I don't, is Loctite. You want to put Loctite on all the threads before you put these lugs on. Just adds that extra level of safety, and like I said, I'd rather do it right than not do it at all. So I'm gonna keep going just for the video's sake and showing you guys how to do it, but like I said, Loctite. Torque down, tightened. So now it's time to put the wheel back on. You're just gonna go ahead and put your wheel on like you would any other day. So let's do this. Notice when I was putting the wheel on is the dust cover here. So it'll fit on to your original hub and protect this from getting all gunked up and stuff, but it won't sit into your stock wheel anymore, because the stock wheel used to sit and press it against the hub, holding it in place. But since there's that spacer here now, it doesn't do that. It'll just kind of like fall right out and just be like dangling around all stupid. So mud and stuff's still gonna get kicked up in there. So what I did was if you just press it onto here and kind of turn it a little bit, it will seal itself up against the original hub. And I mean, it's not going anywhere. I'm kind of, I'm yanking on it right now. It's pretty tight against there. So just kind of, you're gonna have to put that in there first and just make sure it's snug against the hub, It's not going anywhere, and then put your wheel on. I mean, the only thing I kind of don't like about that is now you kind of see this goofy little hole here, but I mean, it's not really. Rear wheel spacers on the Suzuki King Quad 500. Now, what I was telling you about the center cap, how it just doesn't, so here's how it normally sits on the stock wheel. The cap's actually on the wheel, pressed between that and the hub. Well, once you had that spacer, now there's a gap. It fits right on the bolt there to keep all the mud and grime out. It just sticks inside of the wheel now instead of that opening being covered. Really not a big deal. I think they sell spacers that go between the dust cover and the hub for that reason, but I'm really not worried about it. As long as it keeps that grime and stuff out of the center there, I'm really not too concerned. Now, here's what the spacer looks like once it's all installed. You know, like I said, billet aluminum, lifetime warranty, never have to really worry about it. Looking at it now, I think I'm not really gonna run the front set. I think I'm just gonna run it on the rears because I plan on getting aftermarket wheels anyway, and I might just play around with the offset a little bit to achieve the little bit wider stance. I mean, it's not gonna be as drastic as a spacer, and I really don't want to mess with you know, upgrading A-arms and all that stuff. I'm not really like a motocross type rider where I'm jumping stuff and doing all that crazy shit. I'm just, you know, trail riding and getting a little bit of mud and water here and there, and you know, do what I do. I'm not really too much worried about it. So yeah, sits a little bit wider now. Can't really tell too much. Still got good fender coverage. So yeah, that's it. Super easy install. I mean, if you're ever worried about it, or I mean, if you can breathe, you can pretty much put that on, so not hard at all.